Absolutely. All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Why Not Us podcast. I go by the name of Don John, a.k.a. Eastside Donny in the building.
And I go by the name of Rose, no, a.k.a. sitting across from us is Marsha.
Marsha, a.k.a.
Why did you say that?
He has no aliases. It's just that one name. Welcome back to the Why Not Us podcast. I go by the name of Don John, a.k.a. Eastside Donny in the building.
And I go by the name of Rose, a.k.a. Rose. Sitting across from us is...
It's your girl, Marsha, a.k.a. MM Dolce.
Word.
And this is Why Not Us. Let's get started. Well, you know, we never came up with anything more clever, so I'm going to keep rolling with that.
All right, fuck it.
I'm gonna keep rocking with that. So, you know, to get started, I always have to ask the question: how are you all doing mentally, spiritually, and physically? You know, you want to go first? How you doing?
I feel good. I just feel overworked again. This is not going to be a weekly trend, but I definitely have been just really getting it, just grinding, just pushing through. But I also do feel a new level unlocking. You feel me?
Okay.
Like I got my clear quartz crystal.
I saw.
Yeah, and honestly, it was just like a magic trick or some shit because when I wore this, like people started treating me differently.
Just by looking at it, I'm not gonna lie. I saw it and I was like, I might need to give this nigga a hug because it's there. And what type of energy does it release?
So it's spiritually cleansing. So it's supposed to cleanse you and it's supposed to amplify all of your energy and the other crystals that you have.
Okay. Where'd you get that the chain to hold it on?
I got this out the mall. So I got the chain from the mall. Cumberland.
Okay.
You know all the real niggas know. Go to Cumberland Mall. You get whatever you need. You understand? So I got that from Cumberland, and then and that was months ago, and I got this, you know, just recently. I like it. So thank you, I appreciate that. Physically, I feel like a bag of laundry.
Before you wash it or after? That's important.
I feel clean. Like I smell well.
But you don't feel sorted yet.
I don't feel sorted. That's exactly it. I'm glad that you could decipher that. But yeah, outside of that, I need to work out more than I've been working out. I haven't been drinking hard liquor, which is impressive to me. It's been a while since I haven't been doing that. Mm-hmm. And mentally, what was it? Mentally, spiritually, physically. Spiritually, I feel good, like tapping into this energy. I think we talked about that. And mentally, I just need to really just organize work and life balance a little bit better than how I've been doing.
Got you.
So, and while we're here, my shirt is
Hey Arnold.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you see that. You know what that means.
Yeah, get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
You know what time it is. 90s kids in the building.
Got you. Since I already showed my shirt, I'll go ahead and tell the people, the family, how I feel. All right. Mentally, last week I was in an extremely dark place. Y'all didn't know because I was, you know, trying to, you know, put myself in a good place and try to hide that from you all. But it was terrible. So I made adjustments. I don't know if you used the bathroom. You saw it on the mirror? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to get myself in a better space. Yeah, so this week it's a lot better than last week, but you know, it's still a work in progress. But physically I'm doing great, but I'm very, very tired. I just did a 2-a-day yesterday. And I'm supposed to do one today. I don't know if that's going to happen today, but I'm going to try. I did one yesterday, and I'm definitely going to do one tomorrow because we don't have to record tomorrow. But I worked out already today. So that's 3 times in the last 2 days. So I'm tired, but I'm here, and I'm happy.
That's what's up.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at. How about yourself, Marsha?
Well, let's see. Physically, I'm backed up, but that's for another podcast. Mentally, I feel I feel a little overwhelmed, possibly because of what's going on physically. But spiritually, I will say, after talking to some good friends, you both included, I do feel a lot more clear on what my goals are. Still soul searching on a couple of topics. Nigga, you trying to show your nipples?
Just a little bit.
Nigga trying to flash the camera and shit. This ain't OnlyFans, nigga. This Why Not Us.
I'll keep it together.
But overall, I'm in a good place.
That's good.
I feel like things are getting better.
That's good to hear. So before we get, into it, I want to detail to you all the wine of the day. 19 Crimes Cali Rosé. And you want to give them more information about the person that's on this?
Oh yeah, if you look at the bottle, you'll actually see a music favorite, a culture favorite, Snoop Doggy Dogg. Okay, formerly known as Snoop Lion. Just a legend, everybody's uncle. As long as he respects you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody hasn't tried it yet, definitely check it out.
In other words, get it for your bitches.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely get it for them.
Get it for your bitches.
Yeah. And don't forget your hoes either. Like, get it for your hoes too.
Yeah, so before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and go to commercial, and then when we get back, we'll talk about what we need to talk about.
All right, sounds good. Peace, family. It's Don John, Eastside Donny in the building. You already know what time it is, and we just created a podcast. For everybody out there who loves podcasts, you want to check this out. It's called Why Not Us? And we couldn't have done it without the help of Groove Studios. That's right, Groove Studios just opened up to the public, and you want to make sure that you tap in with them if you're in the Atlanta area and need podcasts, recordings for audio, video, whatever it is, content management. They got you covered. So check them out at Groove Studios on their Instagram, okay? Reasonable prices, and they make sure that your project is top tier. You don't want to miss out on this, and you don't want to miss out on the podcast. Check us out on YouTube, Why Not Us, the podcast, and I'm out. Peace.
Last week's episode, we talked about how audacity is a necessary trait in goal achievement and obtaining what we desire in life. But this week, we have to talk about something that's very complementary to that, right? It's one thing to have audacity, but you can have all the audacity in the world,
right? But
you will not meet your goals if you are not ready to do what, Don? Let them know.
Sacrifice.
Motherfucking right.
You can't do shit without a sacrifice. To me, I sacrificed a lot of things to even come here to Atlanta. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. I put everything in the storage, went back home, and, sacrificed the time that I could have been spending, having a good time or whatever. Because during that time, I was just blowing money.
And we're young.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to sacrifice doing those things that I was just like, shit, I just want to have fun and actually go out and work on getting an apartment, work on figuring out how I can get here and shit like that. So that's just a small example of sacrifices. Can you share an example of sacrifice with us?
The first example that comes to mind was when I realized I have to change things in my life financially. Like I had a horrible 9 months of being homeless where I bounced back and forth from like 5 different locations before I moved here to Atlanta. And having gone through that, being financially irresponsible prior to, and having that experience, it grew me up. And I realized that I had to make some personal sacrifices to make sure I never ended up in that predicament again. So what that looked like for me was going to dinners with my best friends at bougie-ass restaurants that honestly none of our salaries could really afford, and deciding I'm just going to have an appetizer. And I'm just going to drink water. I don't need an alcoholic beverage that costs $15 when I can get a $3 bottle of wine from Trader Joe's. You know what I'm saying? And those are small sacrifices. But honestly, sometimes when you make sacrifices, something that is bound to happen, people around you tend to ridicule you because they don't understand why you're not doing what everybody else is doing. Right, Rose? Yeah.
So here's the thing that most people don't realize about sacrifices, right? Is that it's in every single decision you make, there's a sacrifice because you have to give up something in order to fulfill something else, right? And no matter what it is, like if you decide to brush your teeth, the sacrifice you're making is time. Like
standing
up,
choking. Goddamn, I choke every fucking morning. I be like, why do I have to do this shit?
Well, how hard are you brushing your teeth?
Nigga, you gotta get the back of your tongue.
You gotta get the back of the. Nah, I don't even want to. Yeah, you got to get the back of the tongue, but I don't.
I got a whole tongue scraper for that, and I still.
How it happened?
It's a sacrifice for good hygiene, motherfuckers.
Right? Yeah, for real. And
hey, get your head
that's
out
the
gut.
point.
We talking about brushing teeth.
That's what I'm talking about too. I'm talking about how hard are you brushing your teeth?
I told y'all I was backed up. I was thinking about something else. My bad.
Oh, brushing your teeth.
You backed up. You think about something else?
Go ahead, Rose. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But yeah, in every single decision, And it's I think it's one of those things that people don't think about, right? Because it's happening on a micro level, right? So it's like everyday decisions when you decide to brush your teeth, like you said, or open the fridge
You
up.
said that.
Oh, I did? Oh, okay. It's the wine. It's the 19 Crimes. Snoop Dogg edition.
Hey.
But something that I talked to both of y'all about earlier is opportunity cost, right? That's understanding that when you make a decision, the opportunity cost is the thing that you're not doing.
Right.
So for me, I've honestly been sacrificing a lot to get to this position, and it's not just time. It's like people. You know, it's family, it's events.
It even goes down to like consumption, like the type of content that you consume. Like, are you watching reality TV where they're just arguing with each other all day? Are you watching something that's actually motivational, that's going to inspire you to do something better with your life?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that stuff matters because what comes in is what's going to come out.
Right.
So if you're pouring all of this negativity into you, then how could you possibly expect to be something greater? You know, so you have to sacrifice some of those things that you enjoy, like entertainment. Like, you might enjoy those things, but you have to sacrifice it at some points in order to gain what you actually, want to achieve.
I mean,
what was like the last thing that you sacrificed but felt like it was like, damn, like I'm losing things for this?
Honestly, it was the personal life, like relationships with my family, like relationship with friends, like having fun, like just working so much that it's like, damn, bro, you don't even have a life, So I had to recognize that, and I had to say, okay, well, if that's the case, how can we find a balance? So that's something that's necessary to me because I didn't come here to Atlanta to just work. So I came here to Atlanta to enjoy myself. I came here to create meaningful relationships and connections. So me disregarding those things in order to make money, in order to pay bills and all of that like that is not something that I'm okay with.
Got you.
So
see, even in those situations, I feel like what you did was and this is what, like, a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people don't take time to understand, like, why the sacrifice is needed. You have to understand that like a sacrifice is an investment. Like, you're moving towards something. Right, so you can't just do it just to do it, right? You can't decide to, sacrifice hanging out with your family to be at home. Or you can do it because that can be beneficial.
But what's the payout?
What's the payout?
Right, like, why would you do that?
What are you doing on the flip side? Because you can't just not be hanging out with your family just to be sitting on your couch.
Right,
on Tinder.
right. Now, I mean, if that's what you want to do, if that's what
Tinder is not gonna get you where you need to be, and that's and to be honest, like a lot of the things that we enjoy, that's what makes sacrifice. It's something you enjoy. It's something that's kind of hard to give up. That makes it so hard to sacrifice, but it's because you have a vision of what your dreams are, and you know that giving this thing up, this joy, this pleasantry up, it's not that you don't make time for your pleasantries, is that you realize that you have to give it in an allotted time. Because, like, for example, I love my friends to death. I have one friend in Canada, shout out Claude. I could talk to her for hours on end. But what is that going to do to me and my productivity the next day? I'm going to be fucking sleep deprived. I'm not going to be as focused. I'm not going to be operating at an optimal level. And if I would have sacrificed clipping that conversation a little bit short, talking to her, picking up on the conversation the next day, she's still going to be there. We're still going to have that conversation. I could give my energy to what's really necessary. And it's hard to do that because guess what? Sacrifices, and I'm pretty sure we're going to touch on this, sacrifices are hard to do because it's about that short-term pleasure that's kind of hard to give up. But if we think about the long-term benefits, it's like, all right, deuce. But it's hard to tap into that.
And I think what happens in those situations is when people attempt to sacrifice, what happens is initially when they do it and they're able to do it is because they're motivated, right? Or passionate, or whatever you want to call it. But then what happens over time is that it fizzles out, which is why you have to always prioritize discipline. Sacrifice works for you then when you understand discipline and you have discipline and you're able to do discipline.
And that's key that you say sacrifice works for you because I could just make an example right now of how sacrifice, how I decided, okay, I want to record myself. So I have to sacrifice time, right? I have to learn how to record myself. I have to learn how to mix myself. And that takes time. So in order to do that, the payout will be and I wasn't willing to do it unless there was a payout. So it was a calculated move. Like I was like, okay, well, I will learn this, and I will sacrifice this time in order to accomplish that.
Right.
So I was able to sacrifice and make it happen. So sometimes when there's a clear goal, it's easier to sacrifice.
Yeah.
When you
When it's
have
a
a
clear
plan.
goal. Yes.
Yeah, when
Clarity.
you have
Clarity.
clarity. You
Yeah.
have that plan set up in place. It's like I can sacrifice for this, but sometimes when we're unsure of what the payout will be, we're unwilling to sacrifice.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Because
Very good point.
I feel like it's so easy to lose sight of the goal. And I feel like your goal has to be, you have to really feel connected to your goal. I say that all the time. But like, for example, I'm going to Carnival in Miami next month.
Hey.
My body ain't Carnival ready.
I see it.
And I'm trying to figure out, hey, what up, Haiti? But like, I'm trying to figure out how much am I willing to sacrifice to be ready for Carnival. You know, I got I got about a month and some change, but let's call it a month. I got a month to get ready, and I really don't know how much I'm willing to sacrifice. But if I project myself to the future and I think about how I'm gonna feel then, I'm gonna be pissed that I didn't do more now. So I think even though sometimes it's hard to sacrifice in like in the short term, we have to get into the habit of thinking about, well, what am I gonna think about myself in the future?
Exactly.
What am I gonna think about this version of me now? Like present day me, how am I gonna look back and be like, yeah, she did what she was supposed to do,
But
or
see-
damn, you didn't. And you know why I think it's hard for me to commit to this goal of getting my body ready for Carnival? The goal wasn't in front of me. I didn't remind myself every day that this is what I'm trying to achieve. I actually just realized we have about a month till Carnival.
month, yeah.
Like our group chat kind of like fizzled out. We started sending like songs of the day so we can like kind of get excited. But I wasn't really thinking about the fact that I got to put on that outfit with my little wings and my little, top and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not really thinking about the fact that I'm gonna have to put that on.
Right.
Had I a visual, a screensaver, something in my room that says, get ready for Carnival, bitch, like something that kind of puts my goal in front of my face, I would be making that sacrifice. So sometimes a part of sacrificing is keeping your goals at the forefront of your mind.
Absolutely.
If you let it, I could chill right here in the passenger seat, it's going to be easy for you to just do all the
easy way.
Yeah, the other shit. Yeah. Is that a priority for you? Is that the reason why it's like difficult to sacrifice because it's not a priority?
That's a good point. I feel like that's another thing. That's probably why I've been feeling like very overwhelmed and flustered, because there's so many things I want to work on that I don't know how to divide my energy into all these goals. And so Carnival is not more important than me keeping my 4.0 in grad school. And Carnival isn't more important than me getting this business that I'm trying to start. Hence why I'm like, I got to get this equipment. But like, Carnival isn't more important than this business that I'm trying to start. Carnival isn't more important than the sequel that I'm trying to write. But Carnival is coming up. And I didn't think about, when we were prioritizing our goals, we really got to think about urgency too. Like, that's what's coming up. And I'm going to be like Honey Boo Boo in a goddamn Carnival outfit. I'm still gonna pull niggas, but let's not get that twisted.
She said sequel because she has a book out. If you all don't know, it's actually sitting right next to it. It's called Baggage Claim, a life story.
A life story.
He hasn't read it yet.
Yeah, I started. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't started. But I will though. I will. She also has 6 chapters available
for the free ski on
Amazon.
Also.
Right?
Well, Amazon does not. Well, Amazon does let you get a little sneak peek.
I thought they let you get a little bit.
So if you do like supporting Jeff Bezos' internet, you can go ahead and read a sample of it on Amazon. But I give you 6 chapters of this juicy 21 chapter novel on my website mmdolce.com. Definitely check that out, because I sacrificed
there you go
a whole lot to go ahead and bring you this gem. So
yes, you
get
did.
it tweet. Yes.
I think sacrifice is just to kind of like keep things moving along. I think sacrifice is a theme of the human experience. Like everything that, most religions teach sacrifice. In Christianity, the biggest sacrifice is that God gave His only begotten Son.
You better
Hallelujah.
tell him.
You
better tell him
to forgive the sins of every other human. So that's a major sacrifice for a
It is pathetic.
reward that everyone else can actually indulge in. So I think that it's important to recognize, regardless of your religion, regardless of what you may follow or your faith or your belief or whatever, that sacrifice is important. And yes, and what you can get is a result of what you can let go of. So I think that's something important to pay attention to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. We can't just brush by that. Can you say that again?
Sure. So what you can get is a result of what you can let go of. Yeah.
Damn, I didn't catch that the first time.
Yes. You have to be able to recognize.
Way to run it back, Rose.
Great job. That's a gem. That's
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
I think it'll be really interesting to tell the fam what has been the hardest thing that we ever sacrificed and what good came of it. I'll go first.
Okay.
So I can give you some time to ruminate.
Ruminate.
For me, the hardest thing that I told y'all I'm backed up. But anyways, no, the hardest thing that I had to sacrifice was giving up meat. This nigga's
girl,
still laughing.
funny.
I'm sorry, that's funny.
The hardest thing I ever had to give up and sacrifice for the betterment of my health and well-being overall is meat. And we from the Caribbean, we love oxtail, okay? And griot, god damn it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a big fan.
You're not a big fan of griot?
I like oxtail.
Oh,
You know, I'm not a big fan of pork. I don't eat pork at all.
That's fair, but like, imagine giving up Publix chicken.
Done.
Publix chicken is delicious.
I'm not saying. I shouldn't even.
I guess that's another thing about sacrifice. It got to really be something that you really like in order to feel like it's really quite a sacrifice. Because clearly it's not hard for you to sacrifice. But for me, giving up oxtail, giving up chicken, giving up my favorite food of all time, Alfredo, dog. It was my favorite food of all time. But giving that up meant more to me. It meant more to me to be healthy than it was to indulge in those things. First of all, these are things I can get back to at any time. And I think that's the thing about sacrifices too, right? The things that we're giving up, it's only hard because in that moment we want that pleasure. Like we're so addicted to being pleased and in that kind of state that we're like, sacrifice, what's that?
It's the same as carnival. You can go next year, right?
Nigga, I already bought my ticket.
She said,
The outfit has been purchased.
there's no replanning here.
Outfit.
That was my, it's really nice. Okay? But that was my biggest sacrifice. And I was vegan for a minute and then I went back to seafood, but I'm probably never going to eat meat again. And I actually don't mind. And it's crazy because sometimes what's so hard to sacrifice now will be nothing to you down the road after you actually practice being disciplined and focused on your goals. Because now you dangle some oxtail in my face, it doesn't mean anything. Back then, I probably would have been like, oh my God.
See, you also have to have the vision.
Right. I was connected to my health goals.
To see
I saw
that.
my mom right in front of me with cancer, and I did research, and that's all I needed to do to say, nah, I'm giving up certain things. And it made me more conscious. But again, that's why I say you got to be connected to your goals. But I done told y'all, I done spilled my blood. Now I need to hear what was the biggest or the hardest thing that you sacrificed and what good came from it.
Ooh, that's a good question.
What you got?
They'll say, I've sacrificed so much, bro. And I think one of the things that I've sacrificed, I had to sacrifice this thing because it got to the point where it was detrimental to my health, right? And that thing was football. And I've been playing football for a decade and a half, you know? Played it
became your identity at one point.
Yeah, it did. I played at the West, played at Florida State, went to California, played there for a couple of months. And every situation I felt like I was good. Right? At the West is a little different because what's happening there is everyone is trying to get to the next level. So it's extremely competitive, right? Very, very competitive. But it's competitive and you have people hating on you, like trying to step on your toes. Then you get to college where it's different. Everyone is like supportive. Everyone on the team. Everyone on the team. I'm talking about James Winston, Carlos Williams, Jalen Ramsey. Everyone is like, they want you to thrive and want you to do well. So at that point, it's like, because you have the support system, you have the talent, you're on the right team, you're doing the right things. You know, the coaches love you, the team love you.
I feel a butt coming.
Yeah, that's definitely a butt coming. And everything is just working out for you. And then it's like you speak to your advisor, and your advisor is like, listen, this is not the NFL. You are talented. The team loves you. But academically, you're short. You're short. So this is the path that you have to take. To get to where you're trying to go, with the time that you have, you have to do these things. You have to play 12 games. You have to practice 12 games. And you're not going to play in one.
Damn.
And then in January, the next semester, you can play in the bowl game. So what's that, 20 weeks of just
watching everybody else.
Watching everybody else and practicing
being
also.
supportive,
you have to practice too. You can't just be on the team and be a football player. And although you're not playing in the game, you're not practicing.
Right.
Oh, that's
Still
crazy.
got to practice.
You got to practice. Practice, and then you play one game, and then that one game is your shot at the NFL.
That's wild.
So I had to look myself in the mirror like, do you want 20 weeks? It's crazy. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Of just practice and playing one game. Right. But it's even just to let the fans know, like it's not like I love to play the game, but I also love to be in practice. Like I like practice too. Practice is fun. It's a whole lot of fun. The energy is fun. The brotherhood is fun. And it's the first time I felt a real brotherhood from a football team. So I wanted to spend as much time as I had in that environment. But I had to make a decision. If it's not going to get me to the NFL, one game has never got anyone to the NFL. Right. You have to have a thick resume.
So how'd you come up with the solution? Was it like a pro and con list, or how'd you
I recognized early on that I was talented in more than one thing. You know, I was multifaceted, and I couldn't just sit there and
multi-hyphenated.
Multi-hyphenated, as Don John liked to say. But I realized that I couldn't just sit there and play these weeks out and not entertain anything else. So I'm currently in a organization called PBM, Progressive Black Men Incorporated, and that opportunity would not have came to me if I did not decide to like step away from football. You know, I would have still been practicing. I would have missed out on the president of the organization. Never had a chance to talk to him. It wouldn't have happened. You know, so it's like those type. It was a big sacrifices, but a lot of stuff happened in between that time that I'm grateful for. I have a lot of gratitude towards. So I think that would be one of my biggest sacrifices. Is deciding not to stay on that practice squad for 20 weeks.
Yeah, true. So. What about you, Don?
For me, honestly, it's like giving up the hose because I have never done that. Like,
the hose, not the hose.
Yeah, truthfully, like if I'm being 100% transparent, like I know, like what?
Wait. For clarity, are you saying that was the hardest thing you've ever had to sacrifice, or this is what you feel like you have to sacrifice?
That's something that I had to sacrifice, like without any question. Like if I wanted to be in a relationship, which I haven't been in many, you know, so it was like, okay, this is something I want to do, and this is something I want to prove to myself, and this is something that I want to honor, you know, this relationship. So in order to do that successfully, I have to relinquish the grip and the hold of these hoes.
Oh, you're saying in order to have been prosperous in one relationship, you had to give up your playaways, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and what came of that?
A successful relationship. Learned a lot about each other. Got to, you know, grow with each other and experience life together. And it was just like growing up as a young kid. You know, you hoes like women, like naked women. You know what I'm saying? Women with clothes on, big women, small women, medium-sized women. You could find them anywhere on your phone. Y'all remember the twerk team, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Miss Twerk song.
Absolutely. So, like, we just saw that on the internet all the time. And
music videos, even before the twerk team was
exactly. And that was my next point. It was promoted to us, like, to have multiple women at all times. If you didn't, you wasn't a man. Like, everybody that had something going on had women, multiple women. You know what I mean? So, just those concepts is something that has been
ingrained in you.
into our minds. We've been conditioned to believe that that's how we should be living. And if you aren't, then you're not the man. So to recondition yourself would be to go through some type of process to unlearn what you have been learned, have been taught. So, that's something that I had to go through in order to have a successful relationship, because that wasn't the thing that was promoted the most to us. Of course, we saw things like Family Matters, The Cosby Show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but the most impactful things usually come from the music. You know what I'm saying? So that just wasn't in the music as much as it could have been.
It's not less now. So how do you unlearn?
It's not less now, but
now.
It's a level of awareness that you have to you have to tap.
That makes you view the stimuli.
Absolutely. So I can recognize the stimuli and I can say, okay, well, this is what is happening when I look at this, or this is what I'm thinking about when I see this. You know what I'm saying? So,
but once you get to a certain level of awareness, it doesn't even hit the same. Like you can't. It's like, yeah, you'll still see the women, but it doesn't make you react in the same way because you have that newer level of consciousness.
Right. So it's just like, okay, well, I see what this is. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what I'm interested in entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So
why? Because you have a goal in mind.
Absolutely.
Period.
Clarity.
It's clear and it's
like you said.
Let me tell you this. It was the commitment. It was the agreement. It was the understanding that I want to prove to myself that I can do this. I didn't want to fail because it was too easy for me to just fail and say, I don't want to be with you no more.
Is that fair on you, though?
Is it fair? I don't know. But I can say for sure that it's something that caused me to be a better person, because I've, in the past, just been like, fuck it, I don't care. But I actually cared this time. It caused me to care. It caused me to consider other people's emotions and feelings and how they might look at the situation.
Right.
It caused me to not act solely on impulse. You know what I'm saying? It caused me to process the situation and be like, well, damn, that's not something that I should be doing because I've made this commitment. So it really put me in a place of power. It was like, all right, you get to choose. You get to choose if you're going to do it this time. Now, you don't want to do it this time because you said you're not going to do it this time, and you don't want to hurt the individual that it will be affected if you do it.
You're more connected to doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
Because you have a why.
Exactly.
That's amazing. That's
exactly.
amazing.
I had a why.
It's like that. To be honest with you, I'm gonna try to apply that logic.
Yeah.
In my life, I'm gonna try to have a why. But without the why, and it's not just me. I'm not asking this question just for me,
right. Of course.
Like without and why for guys now, it's extremely difficult to like
a why you believe in at that.
A why that you believe in.
Yeah, because I could open my phone right now, no matter what application I open. Besides Snapchat, they're gonna show me because it's a mirror, and they use that effect. That anyway, I could open up Instagram right now. It'll be a girl with her ass out.
Yes.
I could open up Twitter right now. It'll be a girl with her ass out or some shit like that.
And it's not just social media.
You know what I'm saying?
Like it's legit everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go, you're not even safe in your own home.
Right.
The thing about that, because this is yours. This is your home. So you think. But the algorithm is not controlled by you. So regardless of what you think you're going to see when you open this up, you're going to see what the algorithm is telling you that you need to see.
Right.
In order for you to engage in their program.
You're right. I was at Whole Foods, and the woman that had on the
you was at Whole Foods?
I was at Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
It's across the street from Whole Foods.
No, Walmart.
Was it across the street from Trader Joe's?
Yeah.
Walmart is the place to.
Hey.
But anyway, so the lady she was wearing what she was wearing, but there was a guy that was in front of both of us, and he was staring at her. Right. He was, but she felt
in there.
She felt so uncomfortable. She felt so uncomfortable with him just looking at her, and she decided to say out loud to me that, is he looking at you or me? And I was like, I definitely think he's looking at you. Why? It's so weird. Staring at me.
Because y'all gotta understand, as women, we're just wearing clothes.
No, your pussy is out. It's like this.
Well, you
can't
didn't say what she was wearing, motherfucker.
I did. She had on yoga tights. She had on pink yoga tights.
He mentioned that earlier, though.
Yeah, she had on pink yoga tights.
My bad, I was texting.
Yeah, you can see her panty lines. But yeah, you can see all of that stuff, and then she's wondering why he's staring.
Because at the end of the day, You said she had pink yoga. See, look what you just did. You just said her pussy's out. Then you told me what she had on. She had pink yoga pants. Y'all looking at the pussy. But at the end of the day, like that's certain clothes, like yoga tights. Like, okay, you got a hole in your pants, but I'm not over here trying to find
that's
your
the
dick.
difference. Let me tell you, if I had on a slingshot thong,
That's not what she had on though.
that had my dick out. Let me give you another example. If I went to Whole Foods,
man, looking at someone's private area. It's called a private area, and yet.
Right.
And we explain what it is, how important it is, and how we apply those gyms in our lives. Right? Is it important?
You got a hole in your short.
You focusing on the wrong goddamn.
I just happened to look down and I was thinking about what I was gonna say, and I was like,
this nigga is
think
real life
that.
SpongeBob.
I didn't think it was that evident.
my penis.